Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. Hope to see you there.
Hi, this is Mark Wade, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
That's right, kids. Little Hellfire's away, so welcome back to another episode of Unlimited Justice, where we get to do what we want. I am Phil, and joining me is fastest Kickstarter creator alive. It is.
I am Will. Hey, everyone.
That's right. So, yes, I picked. All right. So, yes, you'll be getting some content here to fill in for Salty and Petty for the month of September. So, yes, the first 2 weeks are my picks. The second two are Will's. So, yes, so we're going to start this month off with, both my picks are Flash, Jeff Johns Flash. So, this time we'll be doing Blitz from Flash 197 through 200.
Nice.
And as you know, on our Sector 2814 Green Lantern podcast, we're in the Jeff Johns run right now, so this will be kind of interesting to see. Because, like you were just saying, this is like not too long before Rebirth. So,
yeah, and you know his run was it gave a flavor and a character to Keystone and Central City, you know, as blue collar, and
yes,
his run was a really good run. I mean, it was very, very different from Mark Waid's run, which, you know, is kind of, you know, the gold standard. But Jeff Johns' run on the Flash was maybe not as long, but very good.
Oh yeah, I mean that's another like great big chunk of history there. I mean there was a little fill in between, but yeah, like that from like the long Mark Waid era through Jeff Johns. I mean that's a good lot of storytelling right there.
A lot of years, right?
Then there's like a year of like Grant Morrison in there when Waid took a break.
Yeah. With some covers by Steve Lytle and some art by Steve Lytle in some of those issues, who's unfortunately not with us anymore.
Oh yeah. Oh, another one we lost. Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, that's a downer. But yeah, lots of great artists throughout both Flash runs. You know, Scott Collins, I think, was the artist on this, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Scott Collins. Yeah. Yeah, he did a lot of around this time in the Jeff Johns Flash. Yeah, so.
Because I figure, you know, Johns and Collins are kind of like the core that form that, you know, Johns run, and then you have Waid and Ringo, you know, on their run. So yeah.
Almost like yeah.
Good stuff.
Oh yeah. All right. This is weird. Okay. Yeah, I don't think there's any not any new Flash news. I know well, the new book starting in September, the new Flash #1 starts in September. Was that Cy Spurrier? But I do believe isn't it our good friend Jeremy Adams who was just writing the Flash, who they had to
Indeed
show the door against his will, but I guess he's going to be writing the he's writing the Jay Garrick miniseries, I do believe.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I can't wait for those. Like, you know, we were talking about Alan Scott and then the Jay Garrick. So,
yeah.
Hold on, I'm just looking this up because, yeah, I believe that's in October, 6-issue miniseries, Jay Garrick the Flash.
Cool.
Oh yeah, because at the end of the last Justice Society issue, Jay's long lost daughter shows up because they're in this Stargirl the Lost Children miniseries. There's a bunch of like Golden Age sidekicks who've like been forgotten by history on this like weird island, and Stargirl finds them. Yeah, brings them back. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, Jay's about to remember he has a daughter. So
Okay, cool.
yeah, was it? I think it's Judy. Yeah, Judy Garrick. Yep, Jay and Judy.
Well, I know. Speaking of the run we're about to talk about, Jessie Quick was the daughter of Johnny Quick,
Yes.
and we get developments with her in this story too. So
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, it's again. They always go back and forth with her. It's kind of
yeah,
I do like.
well,
Yeah,
and
I mean, again, I mean, well, she did show up in like what was that early '90s Justice Society, but I was gonna say I think like Max Mercury and some of those like
yeah,
Mark Waid was responsible for bringing a lot of them back into the current
yeah.
stuff.
I think in this, I think Johns kind of shuffles her out of the Flash book and over into the JSA book, because I think he was writing that at the time too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He was a busy man around this time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's that whole story with the island and the forgotten golden age sidekicks here. Man, that's some powerful mojo because even throw a line in at the end of this article. Not even the psycho pirate remembers Judy Garrick.
And he remembers everything.
I know.
Nice.
All right. All right, so should we get into this?
Let's do it.
All right. All right, so yes, we start. Oh yeah, we also get the origin and yes, and a new version, a new Zoom.
Zoom.
Wally gets his own Zoom. Yeah, that's right. All right. So the Flash number 197 from June 2003. It's so weird. This is only volume 2
Yeah.
because Barry's Flash. Modern Comics would never. Barry's after a couple showcase issues. Barry's title picked up at where Jay Garrick's ended.
Exactly.
Yeah. Modern
That's
Comics,
volume 1.
Yes, Modern Comics would never.
That one ended at like 350, didn't it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he can die in crisis. All right.
He got better.
Yes. Again, you think you get mad about the Hal Jordan stuff. I mean, Barry Allen fans had to wait like 20 some years.
Exactly. Yeah. It was quite a gap there.
All right. Blitz Part 1, Rogue Profile, Zoom. Writer Jeff Johns, penciler Scott Collins, inker Doug Hazelwood, colorist James Sinclair, and letterer Kurt Hathaway, editor Joey Cavalieri. Hunter Zolomon wakes up in the hospital. He recalls the previous night and attempting to use the cosmic treadmill. He knocks over a glass of water. He recalls growing up alone. His parents wouldn't even speak to each other, and he'd eavesdrop on their room, but they never spoke about him. One day, he returned home, and the story broke. His mom had called the police to let them know where the 5 missing girls from the previous summer were buried. Hunter Zolomon's father was a serial killer and immediately murdered Zolomon's mom with an axe upon finding out she was calling the police. Zolomon recalls losing both parents that night. Oh, so it's a touchy-feely story. Okay.
It seems it's kind of over the top. I mean, a little bit, don't you think?
Because I'm trying to remember, like, yeah, Hunter Zolomon was around. He was like working with Wally and stuff, but yeah, all of a sudden they're just like keep adding. It's like, oh yeah, it's worse than you think, kids. Zolomon remembers his new desire to stop murderers from killing people. Don't we all?
Mm-hmm.
He went to school for criminal law and psychology. This is where he met his wife, Ashley. They got married, joined the FBI, and worked with Ashley's father, who is a top supervisor. Zolomon calls out for a nurse, but no one is at the hospital, and it is very quiet. Zolomon then remembers the original Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne. He remembers the case where Barry Allen snapped his neck because he had almost hurt his fiance. Well, his second. Yeah. That whole thing. He remembers looking. At, he remembers looking at some notes he had written on a piece of paper with the words, "When is it right to kill?" Zolomon remembers the 1 hour he was on a case with Ashley and her father. A killer clown, Lau Corley, had murdered several people. Solomon had postulated since the murders were all clown-based with poison pies, lethal laughing gas, he wasn't armed. Solomon recommended they run in. When they do, Solomon was wrong, and Corley murders Ashley's dad and shoots Solomon in the knee before he's taken down. For the bad call, Solomon was kicked out of the FBI and now had to use a cane to walk around for his bad knee. When Solomon snaps back from his memories, he realizes the water he knocked over is frozen in midair. He feels a burning sensation and walks out to the main hallway where everyone is frozen still in their place. He can suddenly walk again, and the silence was actually a low hum as he looks at a fly frozen in midair. He recalls his new hate of Flash for not helping him. He thinks heroes need a tragedy and need to take risks. What is he, a modern comics writer? He believes he needs to put Flash against the opposite of what he is to make a real hero. He looks at his hospital discharge papers and rips out the L and ON in Solomon to leave the word Zoom on the paper and transforms into a reverse Flash costume. Why was the FBI worried about this clown? Just inform the Joker of his whereabouts and let nature take its course.
Exactly. And would they ever assume that someone they're going after would not be armed? I mean,
yeah, especially if you're gonna kill, even if it's not like a typical gun, wouldn't it be like, oh yeah, look at the Joker, it's like, oh, it's maybe
acid from a flower.
Something, yeah. Some projectile shooting object, yeah. Well, he's bad at his job.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, God, but that trial of Barry Allen was so weird. Yes,
I don't remember much of that. I don't know if I read it back then at all. I mean, I remember hearing about it, but I don't think I actually read it. So I don't know.
Let's see how quickly I can sum this up. Okay, so supposedly Iris was dead, killed by the Reverse Flash. And then Barry meets this other woman, Fiona Webb. He's gonna marry her. On the wedding days, Eobard shows up again. It's like, oh, I'm gonna kill your new wife. And so Barry tries to stop him, like as they're running, kind of like puts him in a headlock and it's not like he intentionally was trying to snap his neck, but he accidentally snaps his neck.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a whole trial, and then there's a mysterious figure who comes back to help Barry, and then we learn later that yes, this person's presence was beamed from the 30th century into this guy's body. And it turns out it's Iris, because originally she's from the 30th century, because I don't know what happened in the 30th century, but like Jor-El and Laura, they sent their child instead of to Earth. Well, they sent her to Earth, but the 20th
in the past.
But then when when Professor Zoom killed her spirit, her essence, whatever, her parents in the 30th century were able to grab at and bring her back in the 30th century. So after he's acquitted in his trial, Barry just like runs off to the future to be with Iris, and just long enough where she gets pregnant, and then he has to run off and die in crisis.
Yeah.
It's so weird though. He just like runs. Like, I mean, he tells like his new fiance, who, the whole deal, because she was like going nuts. She was like having like a nervous breakdown, but like he doesn't tell anyone else. He just runs to the future to be with Iris, because like Wally doesn't know, and the Justice, like his parents were still alive. Barry's parents were alive. He didn't tell them where he went. Everyone was just like, oh yeah, the Flash just disappeared one day.
Yeah, just disappeared. Okay.
I know. Yeah, because like Wally would have no idea, except for in crisis,
Yeah.
all he sees is Psycho Pirate like screaming at Barry's empty costume after he disintegrates, and it's just I'm like, why do they assume Barry's dead? There was no body.
That's true.
That is true. Well, the only witness was like Psycho Pirate. I'm like, okay, you're taking his word for it.
Not exactly. Batman was a witness, because when Barry was running backwards, he was getting progressively.
He did get that image. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. So, and yes, the most believable of witnesses, Batman, my favorite.
Had to get that in there, didn't we?
Yeah, that's right. So I guess yes, that sparked Hunter Zolomon's interest. But again, I mean, I guess a big superhero trial like that would make I mean, I mean, look at all the hubbub. I mean, we're old men. Remember the OJ trial and everything? I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. And that was just an athlete. I mean, look at superhero.
Yeah. And he didn't. It ended up he didn't even kill Zoom, right?
It's so weird because he did, but he's like a time traveler. So again, there's ways around that. Oh yeah. And Flash Rebirth, I think there's a whole thing where it's just like, I forget how they explain it away. I'm sure timey-wimey stuff, but yeah. Well, again, it's like the whole Sinestro thing in Emerald Twilight. It's basically like, I'm back. You didn't kill me, but I haven't shown my face since you've been gone. Ha.
Yeah. Yep, I hear you, man.
Although I shouldn't say that. Eobard did show up to play Barry for a while now, but that was whole time travel because he's like, it was in Eobard before he met Barry. So that was the return of Barry Allen where he had amnesia and thought he was Barry Allen. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That was Wade arc. Yep.
Remember Green Lantern 40?
Yeah.
Hal tried to stop him. He was like, "What's wrong with you, Barry?" So yes, we have a new Zoom now. So how do you feel about his motivation for for messing with Wally? It's like, you won't go back in time and help me alter the time stream. Okay. Bastard.
He's nuts. I mean,
well,
he's doing a good thing by doing a bad. I mean, he's gone off the deep end basically, and just.
I mean, I think he was getting more unstable anyway, but yeah, and then he does take an exploding cosmic treadmill to the head. So yeah.
It's almost as bad as a yellow lampshade, right?
Exactly.
Sorry, right. Green Lantern joke.
Exactly. All right, you ready for the next one?
You bet.
All right. Here we go. All right. Part 2, The Flash, number 198 from July 2003. Blitz Part 2, Rush. I think it's the same creative team. Oh wait, was Doug? Yeah, Doug Hazel was still the inker. James Sinclair colors. Yeah, we got the same team here. All right. Wally West and Jay Garrick race to the Flash Museum to see the damage and how Hunter Zolomon survived the explosion. When the media shows up, they run off to their family reunion that Wally has been planning. Impulse continues to receive paternal and superhero training from Jay. Suddenly, a loud boom is heard. They look to the sky and see no jets. Another boom is heard, and they know it's a sonic boom, so Jay and Wally suit up to investigate. They run by the unfinished Stag Industries building where the top floor explodes. People are all around. The girders are falling towards nearby buildings, too. Wally jumps girder to girder, absorbing kinetic energy from the girders so they don't fly into nearby buildings and instead drop straight down. Jay, having worked with Wally for so long, naturally knows to move people from the street level out of the way from the falling girders, a habit from the old days. Jay tips his hat to every person he sees, even though he's moving too fast for anyone to see it.
That was a nice touch. I liked that.
Oh, yeah. Suddenly, Jay hears ominous warnings to stay out of Flash's impending doom. Suddenly, Jay is punched in the face. Neither Wally nor Jay saw what happened. Since no one would be fast enough to hit them unless they were invisible, they aren't sure what happened. Suddenly, Jay is hit again so hard his body is flung back again. They hear the ominous warnings again of Wally and Linda being in trouble. Linda Park is suddenly surprised as Professor Zoom appears in front of her. Oh, and we should mention a pregnant Linda, yes.
Mm-hmm. So I have a hard time understanding how he's able to do these things if he's not going really fast, if he's just manipulating time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He can speed time up, slow it down, so
I guess it's I don't know. I still don't get it, but I guess I don't know if it's like he can like pop himself ahead in the time, like he can move himself like 2 seconds ahead in time or something, so he can,
I didn't.
Just for some explanation of why he seems faster than all of them. Yeah,
and he can't. He's not part of the Speed Force. So yeah, I mean, I get the the reasoning is just it didn't.
Yeah,
The explanation didn't really work for me, but
it's not
whatever.
just a element of speed. He's manipulating time somehow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I forget, was it the last issue? But when we get those time windows, but we do see Bart as Kid Flash because Jeff John's going to be doing Teen. If he's not doing Teen Titans yet, he's going to be doing Teen Titans here in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So.
Foreshadowing.
Exactly. What else? I thought something I wanted this. Oh yeah, but they had the big party because they wouldn't tell everyone that Linda's pregnant, and then Jesse's all busy at work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and Stag got forced out of town. That was the other thing about this era where they actually had like an old Green Lantern villain, but he really wasn't using his suit, but like he's part of like almost like the mob, but it was like a labor mob, but it was like Goldface.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. But
I forgot about that.
most of the time you see him, he's like out of the suit. Yeah. So yeah, so tip of the hat, the old Green Lantern villain. Because that's the thing. There's one story, where it comes down to the two gangs warring it out. I think it's like his ex-wife or some. Was it Aminette? Yeah. So that's where the TV show got it, kids. Goldface, much different than the one we got on TV. But yeah, that is cute with Jay tipping his hat to everybody.
Yeah, I like that.
So yeah, what did you think of this? Because you said you haven't probably read this in 20 years.
Yeah, I hadn't read it since it came out, probably. Yeah, it's good. I mean, his run on Flash is good. This one, I mean, I understand what he's trying to do, but this version of Zoom, I don't know, doesn't vibe with me as much as like the original,
Yeah. I think I don't know if he was trying to, because again, Wally's been working with Hunter Zolomon and the police lately, so I don't know if he's trying to do a whole like Green Goblin thing where it's like, oh, he was my friend and now he's my enemy, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it's good and it's well done. It's just there's some things, like but how is he faster if he's I don't understand. Anyway, but turning that off, it's a pretty fun ride, and it ends on two. Wally basically fails.
Yeah.
Because Linda, miscarriages. Spoilers, and he does get his secret identity back, but it's secret even from himself.
Thanks to a certain friend of ours.
Yeah, which that's. I really think that's John saying, "Hey, this is Parallax, just messing with things."
Oh, that could be, yeah.
I want this to happen, but I'm going to make it happen different so that it still happens, but it messes things up.
I mean, when you think about it, I mean, for being an evil fear bug, I mean, look what he does with his time. He resurrects Oliver Queen. He gives Wally his secret identity back.
Saves the Earth.
So see, kids, Hal Jordan was still in there doing good. Come on.
That's right.
All right, you ready for the next one?
You bet.
All right, Flash 199 from August 2003, Blitz Part 3, Into the Fast Lane, by the same team. Professor Zoom is about to take Linda Park, but Impulse jumps in to save her. Zoom moves so fast, Impulse can't see him and is knocked back. Linda takes out a knife, threatening Zoom. Her knife disappears, and then she disappears. Wally West and Jay Garrick are getting up from being knocked down by Zoom in an earlier scuffle. Zoom suddenly appears behind a bunch of KCPD police officers. They all turn and aim their guns at him, and instantly all have their guns pulled from their hands and are knocked back. Wally and Jay attempt to circle around Zoom and suck out his kinetic energy, but Zoom just knocks them back. Wally doesn't understand how he gets his speed, because if his powers came from the Speed Force, he'd be able to absorb them. Zoom knocks Wally around, and Linda screams for Zoom to stop. Zoom snaps his fingers again, causing a sonic boom, and Linda and Wally are both thrown back from the force. They rush Linda to the hospital to check on her unborn twins. Zoom shows up at the hospital. Impulse and Jay give Wally all their speed to get Wally to move faster than he's ever moved before. Zoom moves so fast, Wally can't keep up as Zoom starts knocking him around to different climates. All the time, Zoom is vibrating and it's difficult to understand what he's saying. He reveals his true identity as Hunter Zolomon. Zoom strangles Wally and tells him he just ran to check on Linda. It was so fast, Wally could not tell. He informs Wally his unborn twins are dead because he killed them. It is cute, like when they're having their speed battle that it's moving so fast. You just see like Superman hanging in midair in that one panel.
Yeah.
Like Superman can't keep up.
Yeah, it's so. Do you know more about?
Mm-hmm.
So we have the most recent Flash run with Jeremy Adams.
Mm-hmm.
Wally has twins in
Mhm.
that, and he has another child on the way, or another.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, the child was just born. Well, you might not be there yet, but yeah, by the end of Jeremy Adams' run, the child is born. Yes.
Okay, so he's got the twins and then another kid.
Yeah.
These are those twins that we have shenanigans, right?
Again, next week you'll find out. Next episode, Will. Yes.
Time shenanigans. Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What was this? But yeah, it's just so, just like this is the worst day of your life, Wally West. But yeah, just Impulse being like, I tried to stop him. I started. I'm like, well, none of you can stop him. But yeah, I think they just wanted, because again, Wally can absorb speed and stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess John's just tried to give Zoom something so they couldn't just absorb his speed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I get it, and he does have a cool. I think he has a really cool design. It's informed by the original, Reverse Flash, but it's still, it's different.
Kind of like how Wally updated the costume from Barry. Yeah. It's kind of
Yeah, I mean, this is a good issue too. I mean, they're overmatched, right? How do they stop him?
Mm-hmm. And again, it's one of those things where the villain doesn't even it's not just like, oh, I'm evil, I'm gonna kill you. It's like, I'm gonna make you a better hero, but even though I gotta kill everyone you love.
Yeah, that's whoa, hang on, dude. I think you're overthinking this.
Exactly. Or you're not thinking it.
More like it.
But
the psycho child did not fall far from the psycho tree father. Is that what we're saying?
oh well, yeah, pretty much. You have to submit that. Yeah, there's got to be some mental illness in that family. So again, yes, the father was a serial killer. So, and again, I mean, that's even if you were perfectly balanced. I mean, knowing your father killed your mother is not going to have the most positive mental impact on you either.
And then screwing up and getting your new father killed and divorced.
Yes.
And then taking an exploding cosmic treadmill to the head.
Yes.
There you go.
Oh, and also, I mean, in that first issue, they do say, he was a big, he was running track in college and stuff. And then, yeah, of course, he gets shot in the knee, so he can't run anymore. So,
yeah.
So he lost everything. All right. Should we get to the last one?
You bet.
All right. So we can talk, because there's a trick in here that, it's something I thought this was cool because I think John's remembered something from Wade's run. All right. The Flash 200 from September 2003. Blitz conclusion, the final race by the same team. The Flash and Zoom continue their furious battle until Zoom becomes haunted of visions of his own past and takes off to be left alone. At Keystone City General Hospital, Linda Park is in serious but stable condition. Jay Garrick theorizes that since Zoom used the cosmic treadmill and it blew up in his face, that perhaps he is not tapping into the Speed Force, but rather moving through time, controlling how quickly or slowly he travels forward through it. This would cause a strain on reality. Flash decides that he must face Zoom again to stop him from destroying our timeline. The Flash finds Zoom in Kansas City, where he confronted the clown, and Zoom decides to take it up a notch. It's time for Linda to die unless Flash stops him. A window to the past pops up in a ripple in the time stream, and the Flash pushes Zoom in, putting him in suspended animation, allowing him to be locked away in Iron Heights. Wally sees a portal open in front of him of Linda and himself announcing their pregnancy, which will never happen now, and Wally realizes he's still lost against Zoom. Unfortunately, due to lending Flash the extra speed by reciting her mantra 3x2 9yz4a, Jesse Quick can no longer remember it. Impulse continues to train and join the New Titans. Later, Wally goes to Valhalla Cemetery and is visited by Barry Allen, thanks to the aforementioned Cosmic Treadmill, and Hal Jordan, aka the Spectre. So I know someone sat up when they read this part.
I, of course, love Hal Jordan.
Hal helps Wally fulfill a wish to make his identity secret again, and he erases everyone's memory of the Flash's identity. But when Hal is done, even Wally does not remember that he is the Flash. Yeah, it takes him like a couple.
It's like a couple,
issues.
2 or 3 issues, to get back into it. I
Get his
remember reading
memory.
that.
Well, he does get a certain visitor who helps him remember some stuff too.
Batman, my favorite character.
Because no one remembers, but Batman's able to piece it together because
Batman, my favorite character.
Because he's Batman.
So I did think that was cute. The whole, she shared, Wally used Jesse's mantra because in Wade's run he actually was trying to get faster and he used it and he got he was like frozen in time, like he
Time was
down.
Yeah. And was it Max? Max was able to keep up with him for just a little bit and talk to him as they were walking around and time was frozen, so he was fixing things here and there as they were going. I remember that was a really good issue of the Flash.
Yeah,
I remember that one.
So I thought that was cute that Jeff Johns remembered that from Wade's run. And I like when like writers will like pick up on like previous runs and stuff and like, oh yeah, he can do this.
Yeah, this was good. I'm eagerly awaiting the shenanigans to get the twins back.
Yes.
I know and maybe most people, we've talked about it, sure, but I have twins, but none of them have super speed, so it's kind of annoying.
Yeah,
I blame myself.
Yeah, because Barry and Iris had twins. I mean, they didn't. Didn't they get? Yeah, I know they
Tornado Twins.
But yeah, didn't the Tornado Twins? Was it a Legion? It was a Legion storyline, right? Mr. Legion and Superheroes. It was the 30th century, so
yeah. So it was weird because they had the Thawns and the Allens kind of get married, and that's Jenny. That's XS's. She comes from the Thawne side of things, I think.
Yeah, so does Impulse. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then both of them came from that 30th century, which is the reboot Legion, not the reboot Legion, which is different than the original Legion. My eyes are crossing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because last year when we did the Great Darkness saga, I thought that's when the Tornado Twins died, but that's not because I never read. I guess I never read their.
Yeah, I don't remember when they died. I'd have to look that up.
Because Iris in this story, Iris is back because eventually she comes back to the present with Impulse, so Wally can train him, and he's like, "I'm no teacher," and that's when but first he's training with Max, and then he's living with Jay. Yeah.
Well, and to go back and talk about Wade, his Impulse run with Humberto Ramos is awesome. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like it because it was so cartoony, but Wade was doing some really interesting things with Impulse's thought bubbles, right?
Oh yeah.
Back in the day, kids, we used to have thought bubbles instead of captions that were internal monologues. Okay.
Exactly.
But he would use pictograms to, this is what Bart's thinking. He didn't think in sentences. He didn't think in words. He thought in images, which I thought was brilliant. And I need to go back and read that because those are some really good books.
Oh yeah. Man, I'm trying to look up when the Tornado Twins died and I can't find it.
Let me see what I can find.
Because it's so funny because it's like, and like these stories where, it started in Wade's run where Iris comes back and, she seems a little older and stuff. But of course, the second Barry like gets resurrected, she is all young again.
Yep. Let's see. Don Allen, D-O-N, is the father of Bart Allen.
Yes.
Dawn is the mother, D-A-W-N, is the mother of Jenny Ognatz, who is Excess.
Yes.
The duo ship ended when Dawn, D-O-N, was killed by a Dominator. And that was in the Flash number 769. Wait.
That was like Jeremy
That's not
Adams.
right.
That's what I'm
Jeremy's
saying.
run,
Yeah. I mean, there were things that they do show up. There's like some time travel shenanigans, I think, but it's like I know they died before that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that maybe that was pre-Zero Hour. I mean, not pre-Zero, pre-Crisis when they died. Yeah. I don't know what version of the... Oh, wait, here it says the last appearance was Flash 762 of the Tornado Twins, which was November of 2020. That would have been pre Jeremy Adams on the book. I don't know. Oh, it looks like the creators were Jim Shooter and Win Mortimer, and they first appeared back in Adventure Comics 373 in October of 1968.
Yep. 31.
If I can believe the dc.fandom.com. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm not seeing like a wait. Yeah, besides some Flash issues and stuff, it might be Adventure Comics because oh wait, there's some Legion of Superheroes. Oh, the Legion of Superheroes 300 they were in. Volume 2, number 300.
Well, and if I remember right, like the father, one of them shows up when we first get introduced to XS. Jenny in like the reboot Legion. Like this was like the first 3 or 4 issues of the reboot Legion, I thought.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and that, we talked about that. That was a good little series, the reboot Legion. And it only lasted what? 0 Hour was in what, 96? It lasted about 10 years.
No, 94.
94. So
yeah, because Kyle's only a couple months into his run when 0 Hour starts. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. So it only lasted about 10 years, but you had the Legion of Superheroes book and the Legionnaires book, and then it was relaunched with Legion Lost, and then the Legion, I think, is where it finally was ended, and then rebooted again.
Yeah. That's what I said. Poor Legion, man. They always get like the short end of the stick when it comes to like crises and stuff. And
Yep, absolutely.
I was gonna say they couldn't have died in Superboy 200, could they have?
I don't think so.
No.
Well, we'll have to do some research, and we can come back next episode.
Oh yeah.
And discuss.
That's the big question. I believe that's always plagued me. I'm like, when did the Tornado Twins die?
All right, so we're choosing books or runs that we really love, right?
Yes.
And this was chosen by you. So give me a 300-word essay on why you love this so much. Go.
Hey, no, you kids can send me an essay. I got flash rings and give it away.
No, seriously, why did you choose this out of? I mean, we're choosing DC stuff, right? So
Yeah.
why choose these 4 issues?
I mean, I love the Flash stuff, and I mean, I've already done a bunch of. I mean, Jeff Johns is probably like my second favorite Flash writer after Mark Waid. So
Mhm.
again, I was narrowing it down. And I was like, you know what? These two stories, this one and the one we'll do next week, are like nice little bookends and stuff. And of course, your boy shows up at the end of this one, so I'm just like,
Yeah,
yeah.
gotcha. So I'll be honest, I was kind of surprised at your choice because I mean, I'm looking at the screen here and I see Phil and I see your Twitter handle under there.
Oh, well, you know what?
I was expecting a Nightwing issue, honestly.
Yeah, but I have a Nightwing show, so I was,
Yeah.
I was also trying to do, no Nightwing,
No
no
Nightwing, no Green Lantern,
Superman, yeah,
no Superman.
no Green Lantern, because we talked that every week. So,
Yeah,
and of course,
gotcha.
I have another show, so of course, no.
Batman, my favorite character.
I've never heard of this character. I'll have to do some research on that, I think.
Although I'm sure Ray would appreciate the double the Batman, yeah.
Into the Dark
Yeah.
Knight, all to do with Batman.
Nice.
But yeah, next week, we're gonna do Flash 220 through 225. I believe it's Rogue War. So yeah, there's gonna be rogues fighting each other, and yes, the return of Zoom and all kinds of fun stuff. So
220 through
225.
so Jeff Johns is the one that undoes
Mm-hmm.
what he did here.
Yeah.
I hadn't read that. I don't know. Or I don't remember reading it. If I did read it, it was very long ago.
I believe, if I remember correctly, that's the end of his run. So I think that I don't know if he's just putting a happy ending on the end of his cap and at the end of his run. So
excellent. I'm looking forward to reading that, potentially rereading those, since I don't know if I actually read them in the first place. So I guess.
and then Will, the 2 weeks after that, what were your picks? Tell the people.
Well, okay. I am a huge fan of what Alan Moore did in ABC Comics. He takes a lot of guff, and I think he feels a little bit guilty about, kind of the age of darkness that Watchmen kind of ushered in, especially to DC. And with ABC, he created, these really positive and very well done, this kind of little universe. And Tom Strong, the third issue of that, I think the story is Aztec Dream, which I think has a really good message in it that I like to kind of quote to myself every so often. And so we'll read that. It's got great art by Chris Sprouse, and it's just a beautiful book, and I really like that issue. And the other issue is Global Frequency, which is technically DC Comics by way of Wildstorm. And so Global Frequency is by Warren Ellis, and it was a 12-issue series. Every issue was done by a different artist. The final issue, the one that I really love, is has art by Gene Ha. And it's the series just has a really interesting premise. It's the global frequency is this open secret of people who are on the global frequency are basically there to try to save people from all of the crap that went on in the 20th century, the landmines of the 20th century. And it's got some interesting stories in the 12 issues, but the 12th issue, the final one, is definitely my favorite. And it also has kind of a positive message at the end too. And don't get me wrong, there's lots of blood and guts. This is a early 2000s DC Comics. So there you go.
I mean, I'm interested to read these because I've never read either run, so I'm curious. That's a hole in my nerddom there. So
one of the things that sometimes Alan Moore, is a genius. I mean, he really is. And sometimes I think he's just showing off, which is a little annoying, but it's also like, oh, he's just showing off because he can. So ABC Comics had the Tom Strong book. It had Top 10, which was everybody's a superhero, and these were police officers in Neapolis. I think it was Neapolis, where everyone's a superhero.
Huh.
And it was there's Top 10, season 1, season 2, and Tomorrow's stories are it's like an anthology book with little 8-page stories in it that are pretty good. And then he had another book called Promethea, which was kind of a Wonder Woman archetype, but he really uses it to kind of examine how humanity has looked at magic and the symbolism and all that stuff. And it's just it's brilliant, but there's this, and I can't remember the issue that it's in, but there's this double-page spread, okay? Perfectly centered in this double-page spread is the infinity symbol, right? Walking around this it's a path. Walking around this path is Promethea and a previous Promethea. And the brilliance of it is that you can literally enter that conversation at any point along the infinite, and it makes sense. It's he's just showing off, and he can show off like that because it's and the art is by J.H. Williams. It is just such a beautiful book. Yeah, Promethea is it's a really interesting read. I had the most fun with Tom Strong. I really enjoyed the Tom Strong book. But the ABC Comics by Alan Moore and a cadre of amazing art. There was Tom Strong's Terrific Tales. There was an Arthur Adams did a Johnny Future story in that. And then there was some other things. ABC Comics is interesting, and I just love that. So Tom Strong number 3 deals with something called the prisoner's dilemma, which is a kind of philosophy thing, and it plays out how kind of if you've read about the prisoner's dilemma, it kind of plays out how you hoped it would play out, and then the global frequency is about ultimately taking charge of our own future, which is really good.
Yeah, like I said, I can't wait because this is I've never read any of this, so it'll be a brand new experience for me. And I'm sure when the Tom Strong episode, we'll get into Alan Moore discussion there too. So,
are they available on the DC app? Do you know that?
I didn't look. Here, let me look real quick. You know what? I'm opening the app now. I just assume they probably wouldn't be, but I can look because like wait. See. Oh wait, there are some Tom Strong on here. Okay.
Because if the first number 3 is the one we're going to talk about, if you want to read the first 2 as well, that might give you a little more background. It's a really fun.
That one.
Yep, Aztec Dreams number 3. Yep,
it's on the app. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, very good. Okay. I mean, I don't care. I mean, do you want to do the first 3 for that episode? I mean, you don't have to look at one issue. Okay.
Yeah, we can do the first 3.
Want to help me? Probably getting greedy here.
They were. I think they debuted in 2001.
Well, what, the Tom Strong?
Yeah.
Okay.
May have been late 2000, but I think it was 2000. It may have been 2001. I'm not sure. I do have. Let's see. Here we go.
Oh, I just assumed they wouldn't be. Global Frequency is also on the app, so.
Here we go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is the deluxe edition, and I think this one collects the first. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. First 12. This collects the first 12. I think it ran like 35 issues.
Hmm.
But yeah, Chris Sprouse is the artist. I mean, who to bring us all the way back? I think his first work was on the Legion of Superheroes.
But yeah, I'm surprised. I wasn't sure if either one of those. Both your picks are on the app. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, and if all 12 of Global Frequency, I
Yeah.
would highly recommend that. Just it's very different at times. Very different.
It looks like all 12 are on the app. So yeah,
Yeah. Awesome.
we'll have to
Well, cool, man.
go down that rabbit hole. Yeah. All right. So yeah. So there you go, kids. Yeah. Rogue War next week, and then we'll do Tom Strong, and then close out the month with Global Frequency. So
hmm Sounds like a blast. Although I don't think this won't be unlimited justice at that point, though. Will it?
well, yeah, no, we're probably gonna switch to Comic Capers, where Lilith and I pretty much did anything. So I mean, I mean, it'll be DC, but it's not going to be Justice League or Justice Society. So yeah, those last two Will's picks, we'll do Comic Capers. It's basically just different branding, but
it's still us.
Yeah. Like I said, it's on the DC app, kids. So yeah, they're easy enough to read. Thought I was going to have to dig for them.
Actually, I'm finally getting around to doing some organization of my giant back issue boxes, and I've got like 190, 178, 183 of John's Flash Run. I'm just like, hey, these are issues that are close to what we're talking about today. Tape it up, put it back in the box.
All right. So anything else, William?
I think we're good, sir.
All right. So yeah, and I don't have to tell you guys what we're doing next, because we pretty much discussed that
in gross detail, right?
Exactly. And then again, if you guys aren't familiar with Mr. Will Allred, yes, we do Sector 2814, the Green Lantern podcast, every week right here on the feed. So check that out every Friday. And then he has more, which he'll tell you about. But first, yes, send us your thoughts on everything we just said is coming up next. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find all things Capes and Lunatics, episodes, social media, merchandise, and the Patreon. Again, you get by the time this hits the podcast, all of Lilith Hellfire's thoughts on Heroes Reborn will be on the Patreon. So yes, subscribe there, and you always get early access to Chichester chat. So yes, so find Lilith Hellfire's drunken rants. It's worth the price of admission.
Our whole family can suck it.
Find it all at tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. All right, Mr. Will Allred, like I said, joins me on Sector 2814 every week. This month of September, yes, we'll have a Wondercast over on Capes and Lunatics. The two of us, Justin, and that diva Ray has dined to join us. So check that out.
What are we going to be doing on Wondercast?
I believe
that yet.
Yeah, I believe the boys wanted to do that Avengers 2 miniseries.
Avengers 2.
Wonder Man and the Beast. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. I'm looking forward to rereading that.
Yes, me too. I always love that team up. All right, so Mr. Will Allred, where else can people find you?
Well, you can find me at Wallred. That's at WALLRED at Gmail and Twitter and Facebook and probably Blue Sky and other social media that I both remember and don't remember setting up. So if you'd like to check out the comics that I write, you can do that at crossoveridivision.com. We are getting, thank you, sir. We're getting ready to get the files to the printer for the hardcover that we funded not too long ago on Kickstarter. And if you'd like to check out Diary of Night, you can do that at diaryofnight.com. And Phil is not the only person that I annoy podcasting regularly with. That would also be Kevin Joseph of the writer of Tart. We do a show called Explain Yourself, where we bring on indie comic creators who have live crowdfunding campaigns and try to bring as many eyeballs to their campaigns as possible. You can check it out. It's called Explain Yourself. And finally, you obviously have great taste because you're here listening to us, which means you probably love Marvel's Quasar almost as much as we do. And if you would like to find out more about Quasar, you can do that at the Quantum Zone, quantumzone.org.
I'll put it in my navel.
Hey, boys, you look at the party? I love the party. I am God.
Not that he has an ego or anything, kids.
I am God.
Seems like I'm getting a package every other day.
That was from a read-through.
I
okay?
know. And of course, his favorite Green Lantern of all kids.
I, of course, love Hal Jordan.
That is true. That is true.
All right. Yes. So, yes. Thanks for joining us again next week. Yes, the Flash Rogue War. Then we'll get to Tom Strong. Then we'll get to Global Frequency. And then it'll be October and Lilith will be back. We'll get your regular Salty and Petty back in this time slot. Lilith will be rested, rejuvenated.
Rejuvenated.
Yes. Embalmed, some might say. And again, well, you said why not take these? I just wanted to talk some Flash too.
That's cool, man.
But again, like I said, I mean, you had a lot of talent on these. Mark Wade, Jeff Johns.
Yep.
I was half tempted to like just pull something from Grant Morrison's year on.
The Black Flash saga, right?
Yes. All right, kids. Come back next time. Remember, watch who you make friends with.